Price channel Black Fluid. Welcome back to the Minotaur Hotel. And last time, Asteria and Leo were having a bit of a break away from it all, far down into the hotel. So let's see what they're up to now. Some say the thing most beautiful is host of armies driven proud and strong. Some say when it's your love sits close by you. I say 'tis to see within that man, through eyes, through words, through gestures of his mind, what kind of soul he carries, what he bears. I say it is the times revealing all, makes one less insecure, more strong and glad. To each unseemly angle show, and know that each will be accepted and beloved. And seeing him as if a weathered bronze, to see the mottled rough patina, and see not a stain to polish, way to shine. But feel you're gazing at a deep green sea, that map or no, exploring brings you home. Another day, another night. The Minotaur walks out of the bathroom, still towering himself, when he catches a glimpse of his own reflection in the mirror. His gaze falls on his shining nose ring, that beautiful and ever reliable relic. But soon his eyes are drawn to his beloved's gift. He grabs his ear by the ring and pulls it down before letting it spring back up. But it does not take long for his ears to swivel and catch other distractions too. Leo is talking just outside, in the living room. It must be a phone call. But the Minotaur does not catch any details. He is drawn to the brief pitter-patter of rainfall just outside. His mind wanders, first inwards to the fleeting emotions skitting around his chest, then to deeper thoughts about the nature of the world, until it returns to his reflection on the mirror, on his beloved's gift. Would it not shine better tonight if... He takes off his nose ring. From seeing his reflection, he knows it is not enough. This is, after all, the second golden gift. He should wear the full set tonight. He puts on his laurel wreath, then turns to his lyre resting on an armchair nearby. What do you think, Alice? How do I look? A fresh breeze drifts in, vibrating the lyre's strings. He whispers a song of longing, and Asterion listens. While the Minotaur showers, it was left on the living room table, open and yearning for you. Asterion's notebook with its rough handwriting, velvety pages, and well-manicured verses. Some say the thing most beautiful is host of armies driven proud and strong. Some say... Robert calls. The poem looks up at you, demanding, yearning for your attention. But you can still hear Asterion showering. If Robert is calling, it must be worth it. He would not interrupt your time off for nothing. Rob? Good evening, Leo. I wish to have a brief chat with you. Assuming I am not interrupting anything, that is. It's fine. I have a minute or two. What's up? This is a bit of a delicate subject, but one that I suspect a man such as yourself will understand and appreciate. Your establishment has quite the population of mythicals now. You know about charms, their effects on others. You must be very aware now of the difficulties we face. I can only imagine. The life of a mythical is neither easy nor simple, and there are few with whom we can talk about what we face. Which is why I wish to put you in contact with a dear friend of mine. He too is a mythical, as well as a therapist. He is very well acquainted with every kind of situation one might encounter. Oh? He has seen a lot and even dealt with mythicals whose lifespans far exceed that of humans. Truth be told, I have been his client for many years, and I can attest to his skills and trustworthiness. In your position of leadership, I imagine there will be times when you might wish to pass his contact on to those who are in need of his services. He also works remote. I'll most certainly keep him in mind. Please send his contact to me. But if you don't mind a question, how did this come up? Did you just have this idea on your own out of nowhere? Oh, no, not at all. It came up in conversation. I was having a drink with another guest, the peacock fellow, Pedro. Luke was there too. Pedro and I were trying to convince Luke to try therapy sometime, but he was skeptical of ever finding a professional who could keep up with his circumstances. I sent him my therapist's contact information. But again, I imagine that this would be a useful resource to you as well. There, I've sent you a message. Thank you for your time, Leo. And thank you for your care, Rob. Have a good evening. Another day, another night. Stones skipped on the lake. Asterion's personal bookshelf surveyed and dusted. Asterion listening closely to that proposal. A therapist. Paying attention to every word, his jaw ruminating on the idea. And after that, out on the courtyard, you and your beloved drink and eat and sing and chat the night away. You're the one to regale with him with every story of your childhood. From embarrassing, though not excessively so, to celebratory, but not so much you sound proud beyond measure. Over the many months of your reign, there had been dozens of unremarkable instances your own past had become the topic of conversation. What hardships did you overcome, and which left grievous scars? What dreams pushed you forward, and which should you leave on the wayside, shattered and irreparable? Asterion hears it all. He comforts with song always, and with commentary when needed. Hours in, it returns to your mind that fateful night when you were given the deed to the hotel. You had been so tired. Exhaustion had seeped down to your bones. It had been ages since you had been home. You know, sometimes I think back to the night I received the hotel's deed. My life has changed so much since. It's easy to forget what I was going through back then. Asterion's gaze drifts off to the side. His jaw tenses, measuring the weight of words. It is not often you talk about your past. His voice lingers. A question is buried there, unspoken. He wishes to know why, but does not want to pry. Life was hard. My job was grinding me to dust. I couldn't make things work in my chosen field, so I had to go crawling into something more corporate. I was lucky enough to have a job at all. I wasn't much better off for it. It was the kind of place that demanded everything of me. Arrive early, leave late, no paid overtime, 110% performance expected at all times. You'll have to wear many hats, which meant I was doing the job with 3 or 4 people. They'd say it was an intense, quick-moving workplace. What that meant is that people higher up on the food chain were free to abuse and mistreat their subordinates. There are false promises for everything. A bonus here, a promotion there, a raise just beyond the horizon. It had all turned to dust because of some vague motive beyond their control. It's not as if things were going well for the company or anything. A lot of time and money was wasted on projects that went nowhere. Truth be told, I quit before even coming here. I couldn't take it anymore. Overwork can definitely drain a man's determination. You take a deep breath and think back to your old job. Even with how things ended, you can still remember the good moments. wasn't all bad. I was still good at it. I took pride in my accomplishments. I think I was competent. Asterion blinks at you, as if it's something so obvious did not require saying. Even his lyre falters. A string detunes as it rings out and goes silent. You think? You are the most competent master the hotel has ever seen. There is no competition. You stand far above all others like the sky stands atop the earth. Do you not see it? I'd believed you were entirely aware of it. I mean, from what I gathered, the competition wasn't great. Being the best doesn't mean much when you're just being decent, amidst a sea of plain awful masters. Still, not all were incapable. Competency at times blesses even foul-hearted and misguided men, which only makes you all the more extraordinary. And even among all the guests who came to this realm, I have never in thousands of years seen someone with such a boundless capacity to understand others and to navigate the complex situations we have found ourselves in. Asterion's voice falters, pausing with a confused groan, his words almost tripping over each other. Neither have I ever met a soul who so quickly, so clearly, so willfully embraced the hotel's mission to give a home to those who are lost. You do not even blink. You accepted it as the natural thing it is. You are eager for it. You give me every reason to believe that you do it because it is really, truly the life you wish for. You look at our guests, and regardless of their trajectories, you see people, you see their souls, and you treat them as equals. You respect their good with love, and allow it to thrive. You see their bad with compassion, and deal with it as appropriate, without laying yourself down as a sacrifice. And yet, you do not invade or overtake their struggles for yourself. You are quiet, judicious with your words, intervene at the right time with good measure. Even your outburst on our reopening, in defence of Pedro, came only at the critical moment when it was justified and necessary. Most masters before you only accepted the hotel's mission as a vehicle to serve their ego, or to advance their vision of how others should live their lives. It was done for vanity, for themselves more than for others. They looked at the guests, their fellow humans, and saw them as inferior. They could not see others eye to eye, or understand the nature of each individual's struggle. There were masters who, born in the golden cradle, could not understand the desperate needs of the poor. Likewise, many were those who could not fathom injuries of the mind, or how one's painful past echoes on for decades. For a period of history, there was a string of masters who could not care less about the hotel. They would set off to the great cities of their time to enjoy the riches it provided, adorned in all sorts of gemstones. Or they would overuse this realm's capacity to provide alcohol, and spend the rest of their days in a drunken daze. You, Leo, are a true leader. My father, who for all his faults was known for loving his people, would have held you in high regard, and that is no small praise. I apologize if I'm speaking overmuch or breathlessly. It is just that I was surprised to hear you unsure of yourself. You were taken aback, both at the compliments and how vehemently Asterion expressed himself. Enough to blush, no doubt, and to lean on your beloved. Asterion himself also begins to wear a worried look about his conduct. But this time it is he who pulls you close. Hold in use the most cherished of all souls. His warmth in word and body is more than enough to weather the underground's chill. He gives you a firm, if too brief, squeeze before continuing again. I know not what led earth-shaking Poseidon to give you the deed, but I can only imagine he saw the same thing I have seen every day since your arrival. But, as certain as he is, can you be as certain? What could he really have seen? Do you really think Poseidon could see that in me? He looked like he was barely there mentally. Sometimes I wonder if it might have just been luck. That maybe it'd have given it to anyone. Even if he could not assess your competence or your spirit as a leader, he must have seen one of your other qualities. Or perhaps something meaningful that neither you nor I could put to words. The gods can oft see beyond what mortals can, and deeper. Indeed, we told the old man about your beliefs, talents, and skills. He listened patiently with a glimmer in his eyes. Perhaps something you said captivated him. But if so, what? There's nothing special about me. I'm just a guy. And a pretty unremarkable one in comparison to all the mythicals we have here. Are you? Well, I cannot agree. You are sharper than most masters before you, so delicate and fair with your actions. You are inquisitive too. We have amassed quite the archive of recovered relics from the valley. You are the kind of leader who gathers talents and allows them to flourish. You let your team work through problems and grow from it, intervening only when necessary. In fact, our staff quite adores this aspect of yours. Your guidance on their research efforts has been exceptional. You're not intimidated or affected by people's looks. In fact, I believe few would have reached out to Robert like you did. It's not just a matter of looks either. It would be natural for you to be afraid of him, being a demon. But instead, you sought to understand him. You have the intellect to outsmart a snake, my good lord. And sometimes I see it, in the way you walk, in the steely strength in your eyes, in how your words and deeds give order and justice. You have the air, the grace of someone who's been blessed by a god. Not one, but three. We, ladies of justice, stand by your side. We laid the sun-bathed cloak upon your back, good master, when you ascended the spiral staircase of your lovely home. We called forth the velvety darkness so that you could enjoy your beloved's touch. Did you feel then that justice too ought to benefit the virtuous? When you laid your first kiss on your darling's lips, good lord, we laid our blessings deserved. You are our champion, our favourite, blessed by goddesses three. Or is it four? We should not forget friendly Hestia, ever faithfully watching from her flame. She is old and has long retired from godhood, but a goddess she remains, grateful and protective of her last worshipper. Her grace, small and humble as it may be, shines in you. But perhaps this is only me seeking a fantastical explanation of my affections towards you. You lean your cheek against him a little harder. It is not often that Asterion is the one making you blush, and yet again you feel a flush to your cheeks. Well, I'm glad to hear you think so highly of me. I have my own storehouse of thoughts about you, little star. He lets out a little whimpering moo, and so the shoe is back on its proper foot. I'm really sure. Could Poseidon have anticipated all that? Again, it's hard to imagine he had so much going through his mind. Then, could it be that he saw what you did not have? I mean not to say that you are lacking, only that perhaps you lacked something which previous masters had in excess. Or maybe he saw your humanity, your pains, tragedies, losses. Perhaps that was what the hotel needed. A master who knew loss enough to make it into the home Asterion wished it to be. Tell me, good master, what could he have seen? What have you lost? Over the centuries, you must have heard 1,000 stories about people who saw no future in their homeland. It's more or less the same for me. The economy was in tatters. There's no prosperity for anyone there. Even if I love my friends, my home, my language, It was either stay and stagnate, or take the risk in an uncertain world. You looked down to the courtyard's floor. It was a tough choice. I don't even know if it was the right one. Your beloved rubs your back with one arm and raises the other hand to rub your cheek. You did what you had to. It takes strength and determination. Where one would expect the lingering presence of a guardian, of an ever-reliable loved one, there is nothing. That bond was severed, never to be repaired. I had to leave home pretty early. Didn't really have a choice. People figured out I wasn't straight, and it became clear I wasn't welcome anymore. The bonds of family, it turns out, aren't as durable and reliable as people want you to believe. It leaves a wound, doesn't it? The first love is the one originating from those who raised you. It sets the shape for all other loves to come. Not only did it leave a wound, but you had to hammer it back into shape on your own, creating love out of grief, pain, loneliness. Asterion squeezes you closer again. You dreamed once of a craft that had captivated your heart unlike anything else. So typical of humans, to fall in love with the arts, sciences, and their self-chosen missions. It is a mercy, really, they can deliver themselves to tasks that give joy like this. But you were born too late. The grand times of your field are long gone, never to return. All that human progress and ingenuity, all those life-changing innovations, did they not leave a trail of broken dreams in their wake? What happened to all the painters after the invention of a photograph? You are the answer. There was once a world where people could pursue the dreams I held close to my heart. That world is gone. It was a moment of flickering time that won't come back. It was too late to pursue my dream. Simple as that. It was easier to ignore when you were younger, when there were adults and school lane routines, walls and goals for you, when you were an extension of your caretakers. But as you aged and entered adulthood, the differences in how your brain functioned and perceived the world became inescapable, both for you and those around you. Others could notice your differences just as easily as you saw them in yourself. And so, over time, that gap grew into an abyss, keeping you apart from the community you were raised in. I never quite fit in. There's something about me, about my mind, that is different. I never felt like I belonged, and for most of my life I tried to change myself to fit in. Things only started making sense after I got my diagnosis. You look up at Asterion, trying to read his expression, and that's when you notice it, rising from something deep within him, crawling up to his skin, setting his cheeks ablaze. Then, we are alike, are we not? There is something in his eyes, like a great realization setting his heart to a gallop. I never quite fit in either, and it was not only because of my body. By now, I'm sure you know better than anyone that my mind can create difficulties not all face. There were times when I felt as though you and I both think and speak the same language. We are like two rivers meeting, our waters becoming indistinguishable. Perhaps we do not quite belong among the majority, but we do belong together. His smile widens briefly at the sudden thought, and he turns away with a chuckle. Huh. Although when you were quite small, you may not have headbutted at your siblings to initiate play the way I did. We all have our quirks. I always lined my toys up in grids. You lay your whole weight on your beloved's reliable frame and sigh. In a different time, with all your talents and skills, you might have been regarded as an exceptional man, with a bright future ahead of you. But who, today, can truly say they are not lost? Or has it always been this way? Have humans always been so unlatched and aimless as they are these days? Would you have been any better a century or 3 ago? Or would you have just been unheard, thrown aside, left with no choice but to wallow at the fringes of society and die like a dog? Perhaps you would work and toil until your body broke down, all for the benefit of a superior who feeds you only scraps. Or you would have been born an animal, an owl, fated to die before your first flight, as a hawk swoops in and snatches you from your nest. To be human, in that God's forsaken world outside, is to be lost. None of you ever stood a chance. Not even Asterion, with all the ichor in his body, did. But tonight, you and all the lost souls lick your wounds. Listen to your beloved's song. Enjoy his warmth as he embraces you. For this home is your lighthouse, and many are the ships seeking your port. The mission will be fulfilled. That's is it for Minotaur Hotel for now. A bit of a shorter video. I didn't know actually how much we had left last time I did the recording, so I might have done the whole thing in one go. I don't know, but I hope you enjoyed that one. And of course I'll be back next weekend with another VN. I think next week it's going to be Chenier. I have some work to do regarding that, so hopefully that gets done. If I don't, I'll just move things around a bit. So I'll be the week after, we'll have something else next week. But yeah, I'm trying something a little different with that, and watch, I've been offered some help with that. So I hope you enjoy that. And talking about the VNs, I don't know if you've been following my Spectrum of Hybrids series, but yes, there's a new build come out on Zob's route. If you start romancing Daz, you'll hear me in there. And also in the future, that character will be popping up on one of the videos with a Jagger and Gideon there. So if you'd like to go and check out Spectrum of Hybrids if you haven't already on the videos, there's a great voice cast in there, and I'm happy to be part of it. So thanks to Tare for offering me the role there. But yeah, that's going to be more Spectrum of Hybrids coming up soon as well. Probably at the end of this month or in May, we'll see. And as always, I want to say thank you to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. It really helps. And my top patrons even. Oh, I can't talk today. It's a problem being a voice actor. My top patrons: Andy Peng, Aaron Fox, Bastian, Bieker, Brian Hall, Cobus Visser, Dissonance, Exact, Grizz, Harvest Mouse Productions, Evan King, Kartek, Matt Kenya, Racist Yevon, Lark Heskerton, Greylock, Alan Mayer, Ara Amaterasu, Tiger Cubs, Muto, Spiderling, and Omar. So special thanks to all of them, and thank you all for watching as ever. That's it. A bit of a shorter one, but I just made some pickled onions. 6 weeks where I can eat those, and my cinnamon buns are on their first prove right now. So as soon as I finished editing this, time to start putting those together on the second prove. There'll be pictures on my Discord. Until next time, bye for now.